Second of all, my question is, what is your opinion on the Federal Reserve, and do you have any intentions of doing anything with them?
And the Fed. Yeah. I don't know. I always wanted to say that, you know. But I mean, I think there's like 20,000 people that work at the Fed. Seems pretty high. It's like there's a lot of people that work at the Fed, and it seems like, why do we have so many people at the Fed, and what do they do? And you know, sometimes I wonder which one would win. You know, the federal for interest rates, the board of the Federal Reserve, or a magic 8-ball. And I'm like, I think the magic 8-ball might win. You know. So then I'm like, well, magic 8-ball is a lot cheaper. You know, it's like you shake it, it says, check back again later. I'm like, okay. Same thing. But I think what really matters is that government spending is not far in excess of government revenue. That's a fundamental issue that we have, where we have a deficit of $2 trillion, and we have interest payments that now exceed the entire budget of the military. In fact, that was a big wake-up call for me, was when the amount of money that we pay in national debt interest exceeded the Defense Department budget. I'm like, Defense Department budget is very big, and interest is higher than that, and climbing. That's a disaster. You know, so the very simple, straightforward goal of the Doge team is to get rid of waste and fraud. It's mostly waste. Or depending on how, you know, I'd say it's probably 80% waste, 20% fraud, something like that.
Hello and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Impact Money Show. Of course, the great Elon Musk there. I felt it was worth playing. Welcome to the show, beaming straight from the steamy, swampy soul of Washington, D.C. It's Monday, March 31st, 2025, and let me set the scene outside of our studio windows. We're basking in a balmy 68 degrees Fahrenheit right now, unseasonably warm for late March, with the sun peeking through a few fluffy clouds and a gentle breeze rustling the cherry blossoms at a lazy 5 miles an hour. The forecast says we're climbing to a high of 82 today, folks. Practically summer vibes. You might want to ditch the jacket and grab some sunscreen, because DC is serving up a taste of July while the world burns around us. And trust me, it's burning hotter than this weather. I think we might have a good year. I was telling the kids, probably have a good year with the garden this year. Just have to keep everything watered. That's for sure. Before we plunge into the madness, let's flash forward a bit. Circle May 27 on your calendars, because that's when we're packing up this circus and heading to Las Vegas for Bitcoin Palooza, the crypto universe wildest rodeo. Picture it: the strip's neon glow, slot machines chiming, and the mob of blockchain fanatics debating whether Bitcoin's blasting to 150,000 or cratering to 60. Cratering to 60. That's pretty fun, right? We'll be there, mic in hand, dissecting the digital gold rush. But today, oh, that's a different animal. A snarling, clawing beast of news, markets, and money moves. Got your wallet sweating bullets. So grab your coffee and buckle up, and let's dive into this wild ride. We're kicking off the headlines, blaring at us at 6:13 a.m. Donald Trump's got the planet in the headlock, and he's not letting go. In an NBC interview last night, or last couple of days, over the weekend, he unloaded a barrage that's got everyone from Wall Street to the Kremlin twitching. He's pissed off at Vladimir Putin, his words, not mine, over a stalled Ukraine ceasefire, and he's dangling a 50% tariff on Russian oil like a guillotine. 50%, folks. That's not a nudge. It's a shove off the cliff. But he's not stopping there. He's got Iran in his crosshairs, threatening to bomb if they don't negotiate on the nuclear program by May. And then there's Greenland. Yeah, Greenland. He's refusing to rule out military force to snatch it up, turning a frozen island into the latest MAGA fever dream. These aren't just sound bites. They're seismic shocks rippling through the global markets and alliances as we speak. Now let's pivot to nature's wrath. Over in Myanmar, a catastrophic earthquake has claimed over 1,600 lives and counting. Rescue teams are clawing through the rubble amid a civil war that's shredding the backbone. Reports from yesterday's painted a gut-wrenching picture. Roads collapsed, power lines down, and the stench of death seeping through the chaos. It's a stark wake-up call. While we're obsessing over stock tickers, entire communities are fighting to breathe. It's humbling, and it's horrifying. Back stateside, tragedy hit closer to home on Saturday. A small plane smashed into a house in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, killing an executive from U.S. Bank believed to be on board. No survivors, just a twisted wreck in a neighborhood in shock. The NTSB is on the case with updates trickling out through Sunday. It's kind of the story that stops you cold. Money and titles can't dodge gravity's cruel hand. And what in the world is going on with the planes? I've said it before. I'll say it again, guys. There's something going on. Whether it's they're beaming up stuff and hitting the planes, or there's kill switches in these planes, or there is something going on. We have planes falling out of the skies all over the place. This is not normal. Now let's talk about Trump's domestic tightrope act. He's got the right and the left united in one thing. They're mad as hell. Inflation spiking higher than Biden's 2022 peak, with grocery bills and the gas pumps mocking your paycheck. 401ks are hemorrhaging, down 6.3% this month and on the S&P alone. And Trump's tariff tornado is the culprit. He's already slapped 25% on Canada and Mexico last week, and now he's eyeing 50% on Russian oil and secondary levies on Iran. Investors are running for cover. Uncertainty is their kryptonite, and Trump's serving it up raw. He's betting big on manufacturing, hoping to push past its 10.2% GDP share, but right now it's a gut punch. Prices up, purchasing power down, the Fed's sitting tight while Europe slashes rates. Then there's the power play. In that NBC interview, Trump dropped a bombshell. He's not joking about a third term. He's hinting at methods to sidestep the 22nd Amendment and cling to the Oval Office like Putin's glued to the Kremlin. The left screaming dictatorship, the right's torn. Some cheer the strongman swagger, others smell tyranny creeping in. Could he do it? He need Congress to gut the Constitution or a crisis to exploit war, economic collapse, something big. Putin's got a rigged game. Trump's still got checks. Barely. Speaking of chaos, protests dubbed the Tesla takedown torched the Bay Area yesterday, targeting Elon Musk over his Doge cuts. Cars burned, swastika sprayed. It's a powder keg out here, folks. Let's zoom in on Musk, the billionaire wildcard. As of 6:17 this morning, he's juggling more balls than a circus clown on the Red Bull. Those Tesla protests, they're metastasizing. Yesterday, March 30th, the crowd hit showrooms across the U.S. and Europe, railing against his role in the Trump's Department of Government Efficiency. They're boycotting Tesla, dumping stocks, and Musk's hitting back on X, demanding arrest for whoever's funding these vandals. We all know who that is, but I guess we're not going to talk about it. Torch Teslas and swastikas. Graffitis aren't exactly subtle. He's got the case. Violence isn't free speech, but it's a PR disaster for a guy who's already got half the world loving him and half the world hating him. Musk is not dodging Molotovs, though. He's Trump's right-hand man, pushing voter ID in Wisconsin for tomorrow's vote and tossing $1 million at petition against activist judges. Trump's calling him a patriot at the cabinet meetings. But those tariffs, they're a double-edged sword. Wednesday's Liberation Day, 25% auto tariffs won't hit Tesla's U.S.-made cars directly, but imported parts, that's a cost hike Musk can't dodge. Still, he's got an ace up his sleeve. SpaceX's first human polar orbit mission blasts off today. Rockets soaring while Tesla smolders. That's Elon in a nutshell. Here's where it gets spicy. Yesterday, Musk dropped "and the Fed," which of course I just played at the beginning of the show. And the Fed. Big move from where he was a year ago, saying there's no problem with the Fed. It's a big move. It's a big move. He's been trashing the Federal Reserve for months, calling it absolutely overstaffed and tossing a 100 emoji at Senator Mike Lee's, a 100% emoji at Senator Mike Lee's and the Fed last November. It's a rallying cry. Dismantle the private public beast that's held our money hostage since 1913. But can they do it? The Fed's a hydra, 24,000 employees, a $6.8 trillion balance sheet, and roots deep in the global finance. They'd probably need a legislative nuke, House, Senate, veto-proof majorities, and Wall Street's not rolling over. Ron Paul's audit flopped. Massey's treasury shift fizzled. Even with Trump's mandate and Musk's clout, serious debate, maybe late 2025, full takedown, a decade off, if ever. We're working on it. Some say it'll take more than guts. It might take some bullets. JFK shook the banking tree with the executive order 11110, which was the silver certificates. Remember, that's a bold moves, and as we know how that ended. Of course, there was some other stuff there. There's a nuclear deal in Israel and everything else. I mean, who knows, right? But that was a big part of it, I think. Musk and Trump, a lot of people think Musk and Trump got the nerve. I'm just going to tell. The nerves got Trump in a blender, though. Everyone's mad left and right. Your grandma at the grocery store, inflation's eating lunch. The 401ks are crying, and he's playing whack-a-mole with wars. The Red Sea is a shipping mess. Houthis attacks have him itching to reverse Biden's delisting flip-flop. Iran's nuclear tango has him threatening bombs by May, and Putin's got him steaming. Those 50% oil tariffs are a middle finger to Moscow. Ukraine's a hot mess. Kiev's poking Russia with Belgrade incursion. Moscow's hitting back with 172 drone strikes in Dnipro Friday night. 4 dead, 19 hurt. Zelensky's calling it a war crime after Kharkiv hospital got blasted Saturday. Of course, talked to the people in Gaza. I think they had 39 hospitals at the year ago, and now they have zero hospitals. Israel bombed all their hospitals. Anyway, Trump's pushing peace talks for April in Riyadh, but Putin's floating a UN-led Ukraine takeover, and Zelensky's skeptical, especially if the U.S. minerals deal tying a $100 billion aid. Markets, hold on to your hats. Dow futures are down 271, down 6.65%. S&P is off 0.696%. These are futures. NASDAQ futures bleeding as well at 1.3% down. It's tariff terror. Wednesday's 25% on tariff could tank stocks, and Friday's jobs report might bury or save us. Asia's a bloodbath, and the Nikkei is down 4%. Taiwan 4.2%. Kospi down 3%. SPY is at 55.98, down 0.84 today, and it's a trader's jungle. Dip, buy, or duck. Oil's up 69.69 on the WTI. Brent's at 74.02 on Russia, Iran jitters, but natural gas is the real rocket. It has been for the last little bit at $4.196, up 3.22% on cold snaps and tight supply. Copper's down 1.53%. China's slowdown is a drag. Forex is a roller coaster. Dollar is slipping. DXY 103.99, down 0.06. The yen is struggling today. The yen is surging today. It's at 149.19, up about 0.5%. The euro's up about 1%. Gold's king, still 31.25, up 1.27%. Fears fuel. Silver's limping, but up at about 0.5%. Stuck in the industrial mud. Crypto's red across the board. Bitcoin 81,411, down 2.5%. Ethereum 1784. Yeah, you read that right. It's off 3%. XRP's crashing, down 6%. Dogecoin, the doggy coin, down 5.9%. It's rough, guys. It's rough. Are we in wave 5 going to 150,000 on Bitcoin, or the abyss? Tariffs and jobs will decide hodl or sell. It's your move. AI's humming. Trump's GSA tool drops today. CoreWeave's IPO looms, and Gates says AI replaces most jobs in a decade. Robotics, Tesla's Optimus flexes, NVIDIA's Root in one dreams big, and China's bot dance ahead. It's a wild, wired world, folks, and your money's on the front line. That's the Impact Money Show opener. We got chaos, cash, and a whole lot of nerve. Stick around because we have the great Matt Dixon here with the Market Watch Report. Sir Matt, how are you?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good to see
I'll
you.
jump straight in. It's looking potentially a bit serious, isn't it? The market.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's bloody out there.
yeah, I mean, Trump's clearly not helping with his
Clearly.
erratic policy making and shifting and threats and bullying. Even if people, I mean, my thesis is, as I've said for some time, I've just put on the Bitcoin chart, by the way, I hope you can see.
Okay.
Have you got that?
Yes.
Cool. I mean, my thesis is that I believe we're going to get, I think Trump will be successful in bringing about some peace, but I think it'll be temporary because obviously his tactics are very much bully tactics. And people often acquiesce and agree to bullies, but underneath it all, they don't agree. And I don't think it'll be a long-term peace that we get, but I do think that they're going to end up with peace. He's bullied Jordan into saying you must accept, you will accept, that you don't have a choice, you will accept Gazans from Gaza. And he said that he's bullied other countries. He's bullying Ukraine now, trying to effectively take their rare earth metals from them for free virtually, or for very little. Why are the Americans, if they don't want to pay for the war, by all means, don't pay for it, but you can't squeeze them into giving up their future prosperity with their rare earth metals and so on. Anyway, that's my rant and my view. I think it's very, very dangerous what he's doing. So I'm looking at what the implications are for Bitcoin and for other assets we'll look at. But Bitcoin here, we've potentially got an ABC or a 1, 2, 3. Now, if you remember, within Elliott Wave, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is an impulse in the direction of the trend, or you can have ABC, which is a correction against the trend. So the problem is when you have 1, 2, 3, you actually can't differentiate at that stage whether it's 1, 2, 3 or ABC, especially when it's what's called a potential zigzag correction here to the upside. Now, if this is just a correction, ABC correction to the upside, that means ultimately Bitcoin is dead. When I say ultimately, we're talking, into the future. We're not talking about right now necessarily. But if it's ABC correction from the beginning, then the impulsive direction will be to the downside and it will take it below the start point of 0. So that is just to keep in the back of your minds. I've heard some serious commentators say that they do have serious doubts about the validity of cryptocurrency. But anyway, within an ABC, it's made up of 5 waves for the A wave. We can see that very clearly here. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. It abides by all the rules. We've got a really nice third wave extension compared to wave 1 and even wave 5 for that matter. So wave 3 is normally the biggest, most aggressive wave, and that's how it is here. And even wave 3 itself is made up of 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got the wave 4 correction, which doesn't go into the territory of wave 1. So it's actually fulfilling all of the rules beautifully for the first part of a zigzag, or it could be wave 1. So that's why I've labeled it in blue here, wave 1 or wave A. Then we have a very clear, I think, correction to the downside, ABC correction to the downside. And then we've got another 5 waves to the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice alternation between wave 2 and wave 4. Again, all the Elliott rules are fully complied with. So it's a beautiful setup for either 1, 2, 3 or ABC. Now, how will we determine whether it is 1, 2, 3 or ABC? Well, at the end of the day, I mentioned to you that a wave 4 is not allowed to overlap into the territory of wave 1. So here, I said this wave 4 could not go into the territory of this wave 1, and it didn't. So that's a perfectly good Elliott wave count. But we're watching Bitcoin descending reasonably rapidly at the moment. It's come from 109,000, it's now 81,000. So percentage terms, that's a big move. The momentum appears to be on the downside, so it's a little bit worrying. And if we were to pierce this previous all-time high, which was before we got the sell-off to the FTX low, so 69,000 was that previous all-time high back in November 2021. So if we were to pierce that level, then it would confirm to me this is not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because 4 is not allowed to go into territory of this wave 1. So this is the line in the sand for me. So if we get to that level, that's 69,000. If we were to get to that level, I will be buying above this line with stop losses just below. So if it does plummet below and turns to be an ABC and we're plummeting to the downside, I don't lose much. But if it does actually turn out to be a wave 4 and doesn't penetrate that dotted line, then we would then likely push to new all-time highs for Bitcoin. And that's what we're all hoping for. We're hoping everything settles nicely and we push up. But even if we do get a fifth wave to the upside to new all-time highs, even that would be followed by a major correction, because we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would be then followed by an ABC to the downside. So there's some great trade opportunities here ahead of us. If the price drops lower, as I said, there's fantastic risk reward here for this trade. And if we do get it right, if we get it wrong, there's a tiny loss. But if we get it right, the upside would be tremendous, because you're looking at entering at a price of around the 70,000 area for new all-time highs for Bitcoin. So you're talking a more than 50% rise in Bitcoin there if we drop to those levels. So that would be absolutely amazing risk reward. And the wave count is very, very clear here. So the opportunities are clear. And if you know how to trade it, you'll make some decent money out of it. Now, looking shorter term, I won't go into short term on Bitcoin, but I will go into Ethereum. And Ethereum's been quite interesting here. We could go into long term, but I'll just focus on the shorter term. I think you've got other guests on today, so I'll keep it reasonably short today. We've had quite a sell-off, and this was actually entirely expected by us. We had this chart, this very same chart we showed last week. I'm just really expanding it out so you can see. Maybe I've expanded it too much there. Maybe I should go on to the daily probably and shrink it a little bit now. There we go. So I had this chart last week. I also posted it on X a couple of times, basically showing a very clear corrective move in Ethereum. So we had impulse down. You can see no overlap there. Then you have correction higher in a B wave. Then basically what we see is multiple corrections. So this consolidation or correction phase here, we've got here in the circled area, here in the circled area. You can see these consolidation or correction phases are very much sideways, slightly up. They're basically bear flags. So a bear flag has the flagpole down, bear flag waving in the wind, and it's expecting further downside. And I did say when we pushed up here to on Ethereum, I think we were around 2001 or somewhere around there. I said this is setting up. It's another consolidation, and I'd labeled it in advance. It's just a consolidation within this circled area. Following consolidation, we expect lower. And I tried to make sense of it in terms of Elliott wave. What is the wave count? And one very rare count is what's called a 333. It's a 333 correction. It's basically called a WXYXZ. So we have ABW for the first wave. Then we have a corrective ABC for X wave. And then we have a big ABY for the next wave down. Then another X wave made up of 3 waves. And then we should have an A, B, and finish off with a final Z wave to the downside. Now, I actually believe this. I believe this is actually a correction. So that doomsday scenario I just mentioned for Bitcoin, saying that potentially it could be dead, is not my preferred scenario at all. My preferred scenario is that we are going to correct and then we're going to push to new all-time highs. And I think that this will be off the back of some success on this, what appears to be crazy Trump strategy, but I actually think it will yield some results in terms of
if they're right, and we're going to make all these trillions of dollars on the tariffs, and we're just in this beginning hurting phase, it could be pretty interesting.
I'm still not sure about the tariffs. I don't think that's.
I hear you. If if
But
he's
I think with this, the kind of bullying tactics that he's using to try to get peace in Russia, Ukraine, and the Middle East as well, there's a lot of bullying going on. But maybe that will yield some results, because otherwise there's been no movements. These conflicts have been going on for such a long time now that maybe it will take a different approach to yield some results. So I am hopeful that at least short term it will yield results. And I think that we're already seeing some signs of the economy slowing. I do think that hopefully inflation, I mean, we had some nasty PCE figures on Friday, didn't we? I mean, that really, again, set the cat amongst the pigeons. It started the markets heading down again. We saw a serious move down. We'll look at SPX in a moment to see how that's moved down. I think we're very much in correction mode at the moment. So it's really fulfilling our expectation here for Ethereum. We were expecting it to go down, and I do expect it to go down further, and I think it's going to be in the form of an ABC. But I think then, even though it'll be nasty and painful and it's drawn out and it's horrible for those people who are long in the market, it's even more horrible for anyone who's leveraged. I have said don't leverage at the moment. So these dips, I think, will be a good buy opportunity with good risk reward, with a good potential upside, but not just yet. I think there's definitely more downside to come. I really don't doubt there's more downside to come. And if we just jump over, we'll probably jump back to cryptos, but we'll just jump over to the SPX here. You can see the sort of the violence, the aggressive nature of this move down from the all-time high. We've got quite a clear impulsive move to the downside. That's an A wave made up of probably made up of 5 waves. I'd have to look on a shorter time frame to be sure, but it's an A wave. We've got a B wave up, which is 3 waves, and then we're working on a C wave down. C wave, I believe, will take us well below the bottom of this A wave, so quite a bit lower. And the most likely relationship, there's no nailed on guarantees, but the most likely is that you have an ABC and the C wave is normally equal to the A wave. That's the most common relationship. It's not a definite, but the most common. So if that was to be the case, I've measured the magnitude of the A wave, I've transposed it to the top of the B wave, and it gives us a projection for the C wave of probably 5,183. So that's still a further 10% sell-off from where we are. And that's if it just goes to the 100%. It could go to 1.618, it could go further, could go less, but it's likely, most likely to go to that level. So that would mean there's more pain for crypto, because crypto is highly correlated with the S&P in particular. Bitcoin in particular is highly correlated with the S&P. So if we see more downside here, we'll get that extra downside that we expected with Bitcoin and with Ethereum. And now we'll just jump back to Solana for a moment. Again, I've been expecting these lows for a long time. I've talked about it, saying that the 100% extension for Solana is actually $100. So that's quite a bit of a coincidence, but 100% extension is $100. And that would be, again, a corrective wave 4. And I think from there we'd push up to new all-time highs. So I do think there's more pain to be had in this market. And I've labeled it, I think this is actually also one of those very rare triple corrections. And it's rare, they don't often happen at all. I've hardly ever seen them, but we've been in a long, drawn out, corrective downward move in the markets that's really tested people's patience. But I do think it's a correction. And I go back to this old thing here that I keep going on about. This triangle in this position tells me, I know it's not a wave 2 because that's not allowed, so it has to be a wave B. So to make this all fit, I've got ABW, X, ABY, and then another X. You can see this little consolidation, like the one we looked at on Ethereum, but a consolidation pattern. And we still have lower to go below this Y wave here. So X, so have Y, and then we have an AB, C down to make the Z wave. So basically we're getting towards the end of the A wave, hopefully, maybe a bit deeper. Then we'll get a B wave slightly higher, then a C wave to finish off the Z down. That would finish a triple correction, one of those very rare triple corrections for Solana. We also appear to be in a triple correction for Ethereum and probably for a lot of other assets as well. And so following that, we could get, I mean, people say, oh, it could take ages to get back to new all-time highs. It doesn't have to take ages. especially in crypto world, we've seen how quickly things can really accelerate. Once the market mood changes, sentiment changes, we can move very, very quickly. So what's a long drawn out correction to the downside, which has taken, I mean, it's not even taken that long, to be fair, January till now, where are we? March.
Yeah.
So from January to March, is the end of January as well. So a couple of months, basically, just over a couple of months, is all it's taken for this long, slow, drawn out sell off. And it might go on a bit further. But if we accelerate sharply to the upside, it doesn't even have to take a couple of months. It can happen really, really quickly. So when people are most pessimistic, and we've looked at that fear and greed monitor before, that fear and greed gauge, at the moment, people are pretty fearful. When it gets to extreme fear, maybe people become over fearful and you get capitulation in the markets. And that's probably what we'll see at these levels. Maybe we'll even dip below this in capitulation mode. Then we'll see a rapid swing that basically everyone who was going to sell in this market will have sold. And so there's no sellers left. And when buyers start to come in, and then you get the acceleration of buyers, it really moves the price very, very rapidly. And especially if we start to see lower interest rates, maybe a continuation of QE. Bruce tells me QE has already started. So clearly they are concerned about the economy. They're going to start softening monetary policy. They're going to start pumping liquidity back in, and that liquidity has to go somewhere. And I think it's going to go into these risk assets. So I do think that my preferred scenario is that Bitcoin isn't going to nothing. That was just a possibility, a very extreme, slight possibility. But I'm just saying technically and theoretically, that's a possibility but we have to consider all possibilities. It's important to consider everything to get a clear picture to base your decisions on. But based on the other evidence that we see, for example, the corrective nature of this with this triangle tells me this is just a correction. Same with Bitcoin, it's just a correction. So just jumping back to Bitcoin temporarily. I think I've scrolled out quite a bit there. But anyway, I think this is just a correction. We had 7 waves to the upside here. I think I've deleted some of the labels there, but there's 7 waves telling me this was just corrective to the upside. So then 7 waves are corrective. So we need to move to the downside. I think we need to move below this A wave here. And the A wave bottomed at about 76,000. It's only a couple of weeks ago. And I think we need to go below there. But remember, the line in the sand that I mentioned was dotted line that we have here. The line in the sand is 69,000, in fact, the previous high here, 69,000. So I think that we will dip below that 68,000 level, 78,000 level, was it? Let me go back to daily so I can see it clearly. So we are going to dip below this A wave, which was about 76,000 level, I think. I think we're going to dip below there, but I doubt, and I really hope that we don't dip below that previous 69,000 level, because if we do, then that's really very, very worrying. So I'll be looking, as I say, to buy the dips. I'll be looking to buy above this line and basically protect with a stop loss just below in case the market does actually penetrate that line. But remember, if this is a 1, 2, 3 and this is a wave 4 down, with a wave 4, it's not even allowed to penetrate it at all, because the wave 4 is not allowed to test into territory of that previous wave 1 high we had back here at 69,000. So that is just not allowed. So I can put my stop loss just below it, say 68,800 or something, just below that previous there, and be reasonably confident that if it does break below, then it's opened the floodgates to potentially much lower prices, but with the full expectation that we're going to bounce from here in a nice 5th wave to the upside to take us to new all-time highs. That should be very, very nice. So again, this SPX should also push. I think it's just a correction to new all-time highs. Once again, a bit like Bitcoin, if this is a wave 4, we cannot, let's just see. Okay, we've got a 3, 4, 5. Okay, we can drop below this one. This is a lesser degree, wave 3 here. So we would be expected, as I say, to drop quite a bit lower with SPX, and then we should push to new all-time highs once again. I'll probably finish up on gold because I think I'm back to finishing now. Gold's been really nice. Let's just touch on it very briefly. We've got a wave 4 there in blue, large wave 4. Then we've got a 1, 2, 3 in red. We've got a wave 4 to come down. So the wave 3 in red itself was made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in blue waves. At some point, reasonably soon, we expect to pull back in a red wave 4, and then we'll get another push up in wave 5. But we've still got even more push-ups on larger cycles. If we go back to the beginning, we've got higher to go. So for me, as I said, I won't be chasing buying highs, but I'll be looking for dips to buy the dips and looking for higher. But right now, I'm not chasing it higher. I'm waiting for a dip in price to add to my holdings. And I'm talking quickly because I know Bruce has another visitor. So I'll leave it there for today. Thanks so much for listening, and look forward to catching up tomorrow, Bruce.
He's a little late anyway, coming on. He's in India at the moment. Gold has been one of those. It really just keeps going. How much fuel do you think is in the tank?
Well, if I just scroll right out, it's all based on liquidity here, and you can see interest rates. When interest rates, it's very much related to liquidity, of course, in the market. I'm just trying to, I'll probably need to scroll out even further to go on to weekly to see this, to see what I'm talking about in terms of how much higher we potentially got. It potentially got quite a lot higher to go. So we've had a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, looking at a fifth wave to the upside. Actually, looking at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this may actually be the end of the cycle coming in the next, after we get a correction, and then the next wave up will take us to new all-time highs. Can't tell you where it will go to at the moment, because gold is a commodity which often has an extended fifth wave, as against most assets extending the third wave. But gold very often extends the fifth wave. So this fifth wave that I'm projecting here could actually be much, much higher potentially. It really is possible. So whilst I'm expecting some kind of pullback, probably into the territory of the previous wave 4 here, into this territory, then we should get a really good rally to take us to new all-time highs again. So for me, I certainly won't sell an asset like gold. I'll be holding, and I'd wait for dips to add more to it. But once we get to new all-time highs, once again, after maybe even adding more down here, get to new all-time highs up here again, then I will be looking to maybe consolidate, protect. But then the issue is, even if you've made all your money in gold and other assets, where do you put it for safety?
It's always the trickiest question, right?
It's a very tricky question.
I know.
The only sensible answer that Nobel Prize winners have come up with in the past is that basically diversification is the only answer, because nobody actually knows for certain what is going to be, what is going to hold its value in times of trouble. So maybe you should always keep some gold. Maybe you should always keep some. I mean, obviously, you go to sort of safety stocks like utilities. Everybody needs to eat and use utilities and water and so on and so on. So,
Awesome.
you still go that, but you probably just tune back a little bit on the highly aggressive things like some of the cryptocurrencies and so on. But you probably also keep Bitcoin as a part of a well-diversified portfolio. The rule is. The general rule is that you need to diversify into as many uncorrelated assets as possible.
Right.
That's the way to secure your position. So Bitcoin is definitely uncorrelated. Some of these cryptos are uncorrelated. Gold, you look at bonds, the treasuries and so on. You need to be holding a little bit of everything. And property, depends on what your net worth is, but you need a little bit of everything. So if some things get into serious trouble, it's not the end of the world, because other things will appreciate in times of trouble.
Well, there you have it, folks. The great Matt Dixon with the Market Watch Report. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bruce.
We'll be back on in the morning.
Catch up soon. I'll listen out to the rest of your show. Thank you, Bruce. Bye for now.
Amazing. Cheers. I have with me here the great Finn Menon. Finn, my man. How are you? Over in traveling the world, where are you in Mumbai at the moment?
Yeah, right now I'm traveling in Mumbai.
Mumbai. All right. I tell you what, I've been on these world tours myself, out there raising money, doing the deal. I know it's a lot of work, Tell me how things are going. And just to introduce, we've had Vin on a number of times. He's the co-founder of Mindwave DAO. He has his Nila token. They're doing a public sale, doing very well. I've been keeping up with everything. Been reposting the posts and putting some more posts out there, putting some more juice behind everything. And of course, bringing you on the show. Give us an update.
Thank you so much, Bruce, for inviting me here. So just for the sake of audience understanding, let me just talk a little bit about Nila tokens. So Mindwave DAO is a hybrid DAO where we are primarily working on Bitcoin fund using multiple yield generated strategies. So that's our foundation on the Nila token, where Nila token collects 50% of the returns yields generated by the fund Mindwave. Now, however, this Nila tokens is also creating additional ecosystems and trying to increase the token velocity, M1, M2 cases here by moving into multiple new ventures where we are on ad tech partnership with the Giant project, and we are on ad tech Advertify platform with one of the Telegram tap to earn program called Wave Plus. And we are also working on an InsurTech product, which will be announced shortly. And we have a climate tech project, which we all know that it's part of our ecosystem too. So nutshell, we have been expanding the same DAO tokens, fundamentally collecting all the yield, 50% of the yield generated by the fund. But at the same time, it is also used in multiple matured ecosystems, which increases the token value. However, the good news is on 14th of April, 11 a.m. UTC, we are going to start trading in L Bank, 14th of April. And this is the time you can actually go to our website and buy at a private public sale, pre-sale, I would say, before the exchange listing happens.
Amazing. So let's review that date and time again. What was it?
14th April, 11 a.m. UTC.
The 14th of April, 11 a.m. UTC, which is about 6 a.m. It's about actually when we start the show, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's London time.
Yeah.
So right. Pretty cool. We'll be here live for it. Pretty exciting. It's like I always say.
We should actually have a launch on this platform as well for the viewers.
We can have a launch on the Impact Money Show. It's only fitting, right?
Yeah.
Well, Vin, you've been really at this, a long time. You and I met years ago. You've been really, part of this the history of crypto and the history of blockchain, pushing this forward. It's pretty interesting to have something that is backed by Bitcoin and producing Bitcoin as its
yield returns.
Yeah, as its yield. Talk a little bit to the audience about how that works.
So basically, what we are doing is we are working with a white glove trade desk. They have been performing since 2022. During the bear market, they have generated roughly 1 to 1.5% in Bitcoin per month. So anything between 12 to 15% per year yield generated, which is risk-free. That means the Bitcoins are never moving out from your wallet. It's all doing a square off on a 24 hours basis and settlement. So either it will be zero or it will be making profit. There are only two conditions can happen. Now, however, in the bull market, we have seen for the last probably 6 months, it's generating almost a month 3 to 3.5% in Bitcoin,
right?
Which is like 36-40% in Bitcoin, and it's all completely, sort of like a no risk kind of a trade, unless there is a technical glitch, which we never seen over the last 3 years. So we partnered with them and we accumulated the Bitcoin from multiple different Bitcoin sources, including miners, and we are putting that into this fund to generate returns. And 50% of the returns which generate in Bitcoin is going back to the owners of the Bitcoin, and another 50% will come back to the governance token of Mindwave. That's called Nila token.
The Neela token. And I'll tell you what, so you've been really pushing this as well. I know we had some success at the Global Family Office. I've been watching you have success over the last week or so that you've been traveling. Tell us a little bit, just on a side note, I love traveling. How is India? Are you having a great time? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, so I've been like, so you know that when we have a global roadshow, and I want to be in this part of the world during the April 14th when we are listing our token. We are in touch with a lot of crazy crypto investors.
They have them over there in India. It's true.
A lot. And especially they are ready to take the risk at the same time, but they look at who are the people behind. So since we are already in this industry for ages, decades probably, so that we get a good attraction. And now I'm traveling between cities, meeting people, all my old friends, and heading back to Singapore next week. Then I'll be in some part of Southeast Asia like Cambodia, Vietnam for a couple of days, then back to India for the launch. That's my plan.
Amazing. Well, I know Vietnam is such a hotbed as well. Singapore too. Singapore, one of the first countries really to set this legal framework for people to do business, tokenized businesses.
Yes, in 2018, in Singapore, this was.
As a matter of fact, is this where you are incorporated?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm actually originally from Singapore. So our first exchange business also started in Singapore in 2017-18. And that's where we met in Washington, first time.
Yes, I remember. Well, really cool. I really appreciate the update. Tell us a little bit more about how people can get involved. I know the public sale is still ongoing. Talk to us a little bit about the Neela tokens and how people get it.
Okay, so right now the pre-sale public sale is happening before the exchange, and roughly we are talking about closing it by 10th of April. So you have a chance of getting in right now before 10th, and it is it's running fast. So grab before it is finished. However, then we will see you in the exchange on 14th. This will be our first exchange going in, and over the period of time, we are going to have multiple more exchanges coming in.
Amazing.
And the URL is sale.mindwavedao.com. Or you can go to it and buy now.
Go buy now. Sale.mindwavedao.com. I'm going to go ahead and put that on a banner, and then I want to play it's the short clip of you that your team put out from Bitcoin Palooza, which was a lot of fun.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Hold on, .com. Let me just save. There we go. We can show that right there on. Let me make this not a ticker. Here we go. Boom. There we go. Nice and big for everybody right there. And then this right here, of course, we were just at, we're doing this again. I know we haven't talked that much, but I know we're doing the next one in Las Vegas on May 27th.
May 27th. Okay.
Yeah, the next Bitcoin Palooza. So super excited about that. So this is just a short clip that Vin's team put together, but it shows Dr. Vin Menon here, really doing a great job and putting this forward here at Bitcoin Palooza. Check this out, just about a minute.
So let me introduce myself. I'm Vin. I've been into the blockchain space as a business since 2015 and as an investor since 2011. When Bitcoin was like $10 $40. Blockchain and Bitcoin is going to be mainstream. We are going to see public companies owning crypto assets. We are seeing a globally regulation coming out, and we are looking forward for US being the leading indicator for all the blockchain regulations to come out. So in the next 60 years, we are hoping that we will be having regulations come out. So looking forward for these kinds of scenarios, which we never had in the blockchain and
It's pretty cool. Well, it is it's an honor to have you as a friend, and also participate in these types of events and to see your success. Right? I mean, it's a lot of work that goes into this. You have a great team behind you. You showed up with very professional team there in New York City. tell me a little bit about the team. How big is the team? How many? Who are you guys? Who are you working with to make this all happen?
Right. So basically, our team is fully decentralized, and for the Mindwave DAO project and Nila, we have roughly around 25 people, fully active, sitting across 8 countries, 8 locations, starting from Mexico, New York, all the way to Australia.
Yeah. Well, it's really cool. And this decentralized way that people work these days, it makes it a lot easier, or well, let's just say we're able to leverage that in order to bring in the best talent, right? We can bring
Yes.
the best talent together.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I know we have a bit of a time difference. Looks like it's during the day there. What is the local time?
It's around 4:30 now p.m.
All right. So you're going to dinner. I'm going to breakfast. Getting the kids to school. That's how we roll. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Dr. Vin Menon. Again, guys.
Yep. Thank you.
It's sale.mindwavedao.com. You can go there. If you follow me on my X, I'll have some special stuff for you there. But thank you so much, Dr. Vin Menon.
You have a referral code going on, right?
We do.
Yeah,
I do have a referral code. I wasn't going to mention it on air, but what is it, 80, 81, 88, 100? Is that right?
Yeah, 88100. Yes.
88100 is the code, guys, and you can get yourself a 5% bonus on that, which is pretty big. Code 88100 for 5% bonus. So it's pretty big move there. So if you do, do it, and then make sure you take care of it. Well, thank you, Dr. Vin Menon. Socials, website. How do people find you, get a hold of you?
Yeah. So we have a link tree on mindwavedao.com where we have all the socials updated. Please visit mindwavedao.com and join the newsletter.
Okay. Well, check it out, guys. Go to mindwavedao.com. Vin, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
Bye.
All right. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to do the show, guys. I love doing the show. One of the reasons I love doing the show is to work with great people. Of course, working with Matt Dixon has been one of the pleasures of the last year or two. I'll tell you what, it's a real honor to get on the air with Matt Dixon every morning, Monday through Friday, the morning said when I'm not on location, and talk about the markets, talk about what's going on in the world as well. People like Dr. Vin Menon, to work with Dr. Vin Menon, bring them on the show, help them out, do what I can, expand the network. We are doing this Bitcoin Palooza again. We're doing Bitcoin Palooza in Las Vegas. And the reason we're doing it again was obviously it was successful, right? So it's successful, so we're going to do it again. It was a lot of fun. And this is during the Bitcoin Las Vegas event. So it's May 27th, Bitcoin Las Vegas. We're doing Bitcoin Palooza. Bitcoin Palooza. So super excited about it. Some of the people that are supporting us, of course, are people like Mindwave DAO and Dr. Vin Menon as well, 2Bit and some of the other ones. So I will, if you haven't signed up for 2Bit, you should sign up for it. Okay, 2Bit, TOOBIT.com. Make sure to use the referral code Impact Money. Impact Money. Cheers.
Hey, Randy, I got another home run for us, man. This 2-bit exchange is absolutely amazing.
Hey, Bruce, what's up, man? Yeah, why don't you tell me about that 2-bit exchange?
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to be able to list our coins that we want, that we support, and they're going to be on this amazing derivatives platform. It's absolutely awesome.
Derivatives? I love derivatives. I can't wait to be on the trade copy program.
So what I want you to do is set up an account and then send me your UID, and let's set you up with a trade copy system, and you just let it run. Copy our trades. That's it. Easy peasy.
So you want me to open an account, send you my user ID, and you hook me up with the trade copy system. I can't wait. Sounds spectacular.
Hey, Matt. Hey, listen, I met with the guys at 2-Bit Exchange while I was in Dubai, and this platform really looks amazing.
Yeah, hi Bruce. Yeah, thank you again for that heads up. I mean, I've looked into this 2-bit platform. It does appear to have everything we're looking for.
Yeah, that's right. 2-bit, T-O-O-B-I-T. They have great liquidity. They have futures platform. There's a lot of functionality that I think you're going to like on there. And they really want to work with us. They want to work with the Impact Money Show. And as you and I both know, if they have a good product and they want to work with us, well, hey, that's half the battle.
I mean, basically, I love that copy trade facility. I love the features on the platform. It's basically very simple to use.
Our viewers only need to set it up to copy our trades, and they just do all the trades that we do. Makes it really easy for people to participate. I think they're going to love it. I'm pretty excited about it.
And yeah, it's definitely going to benefit people. I mean, obviously, with all the years of experience that we can pack into it, and people can basically benefit from that. Yeah, I definitely think it's a goer.
Hey, David. Yeah, man, I'm excited about it too. I mean, when you think of the ways that we can help our viewers earn money and be able to participate in the monetary revolution, this 2-bit platform just opens up all kinds of doors that they don't have right now.
Hey, Bruce, I'm checking out this platform. It's revolutionary.
That's absolutely correct. And the futures platform is amazing. Great liquidity. And the copy trader program, people are going to be able to make the trades exactly when we make them and make the money that we make. It's a win-win for everybody.
Open for U.S. customers, and you can deposit money with the credit or debit card. Doesn't get better than this.
Beautiful. And what do you think we should use as a referral code?
I think we should use Impact Money. That's the one.
Impact Money.